once in a while, a little show called Castlevania will come up in our conversations. And you guys are like, Grace, why aren't you watching Castlevania? It's so good. And I'm like, I don't play that video game. I don't want to watch it. But apparently I am sleeping on Castlevania if it's as good as this show, because they come from the same animation studio. Blood of Zeus has no business being this good. I did not expect this. I was blown away. I can't believe how good this show is. Think Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones, but you know what else I love? Greek mythology. And that's what this is, Game of Thrones for Greek mythology. They even have a bastard as the main character, and he's just as difficult. And then also sprinkle on top of that some Saturday morning cartoon action, a little gargoyles and a sword straight out of He-Man. That's a very cool sword. And also there's another cool weapon like Mjolnir. One character wields both, and I'm like, that's just maybe a bit too much awesomeness. Oh, it was so cool. I really, really liked that. And also you can see, in Saturday morning cartoons, there's always like this group of, friends that does stuff together. And you can see it taking shape in this season. Towards the end, you're like, there's our group. And I like them. I like them a lot. But cartoons and comics aside, make no mistake, Blood of Zeus is a very adult show. It's got tons of gore. It's mostly adult for the gore. There's murder happening everywhere. Murder! But as far as like sexual elements, it's not Game of Thrones like that. Although there is a Titan who walks around with like Total Recall breast situation and no clothing. But anyway, she's mostly in shadow. But for the most part, there's just like a really low cut dress on Hera and a lot of innuendo. Because, Zeus is involved and he's quite the player. But speaking of Zeus, you do need to know your basic Greek mythology going in, because this show hits the ground running and doesn't waste precious time with exposition. No name tags here. You gotta know who everybody is. I sometimes, even knowing Greek mythology myself, I was like, okay, that's that person, that's that god. And then I was also looking for my favorites. I was like, oh, where are my favorite gods? And I have to say, two of mine were not there. There was Aphrodite was like in the background. And I was like, do something with Aphrodite, because I'm having so much fun with the Greek gods they do stuff with. And then also I don't even think I even saw Athena. I don't even think she was even there. Maybe that's why she wasn't, because Athena, of course, would very much be in the middle of things, because she's that kind of person. But maybe if we get a season 2, we'll get some Athena and Aphrodite action. But the gods here, oh, and by the way, if you've seen Hercules, you should be okay. I mean, you'll be better off if you know a little bit more than that, but if you've seen Hercules, you'll be fine. And the gods don't sit on the sidelines here either. In Hercules, they're just, they're not very much involved outside of Hades. But here, they're main freaking characters, which is fantastic. There's plenty, and they fight. There's plenty of action throughout all 8 episodes. From the gods themselves, who make like the X-Men, right? Storm has never used her lightning like Zeus. And I was like, they should be taking notes here and having Storm use her lightning in this way, because it was so great. Also, I've never seen Hera this powerful, and she makes for a jaw-dropping, formidable villain. At one point, a character's like, I know better than to make Hera upset. And I was like, you can say that again. She is not to be trifled with. She got to the point where I was like, my God, Hera, calm down. It was amazing. It was very, very good. She was a great villain. Surprisingly good. But we also have demigods fighting demons. That's where the gargoyles reference comes in. Amazons in the mix, voiced by Jessica Hedwick. She's fantastic, as always. And I loved this. I did not expect this. Steampunk robots for sparring and guarding, built by Hephaestus. And let me tell you, he does some quality work. I'm not going to say anything else. They were so cool. The action, I would say, animation-wise, is on the level of The Last Airbender. It was really surprisingly cool. I thought it was fantastic. Although, for those of you who watch Castlevania, you're probably like, you're not telling us anything we don't already know, Grace. But I didn't know it. I have not seen Castlevania. Now, this show is 8 half-hour episodes, but you will be shocked, a word I'm using obviously a lot during this review, for how much story and action they're able to cram into that time frame. I really appreciated the care that they took even with the title cards. Usually all streaming services now offer you the option to skip the intro. Don't skip the intro here, because I thought it was fun that every episode they did a different treatment of the title card to foreshadow what was to come in that episode. So it was a really nice little treat. I actually came to really look forward to what they were going to do with the title card, and they never disappointed. I was like, oh, that's real nice. I like that. It really set the mood. I thought it was a really nice, it just shows how much effort and care is put into this show, because they even did that. They were like, we could always have the same title card, but why not when we can do something interesting with it? I really loved it. This was great. This was something I watched as fast as I could. I really, really enjoyed it. Blood of Zeus does not tread lightly in the world of Greek mythology. The show aggressively carves out its own space. There were times where I was like, they're not going to do that, because they can't. I don't remember that from Greek mythology. And then they did it anyway, because they're like, we're doing our own thing. And I was like, thank you. And while the show does treat every character with respect, however, they don't feel they're too sacred to be played with. And so that's fantastic. Lots of drama, lots of character development at all the different levels, from the mortals to the demigods to the demons to the gods, to the Greek gods. I thought that was fantastic. And the world building. What? I was shocked at the effort put in here. Again, shocked for Mount Olympus, where we spent far more time than I ever expected to. I was like, wow, I'm getting a great tour here. To an amazing long-taken pan of the different realms of the underworld. Introduced here, I've heard, I have some stuff coming up for you that you're going to be excited about, but I've heard that it's going to be explored in season 2, hopefully, if they get a season 2. To be honest with you, from the trailer, I felt that maybe the animation would be a bit subpar. It seemed like they were skipping some frames. They didn't have the full, mouth movement that, we're used to with other animation. But now, having seen the show, that's definitely not the case. I mean, I enjoyed the trailer, as you'll recall from my trailer reaction, but this show is so much better than the trailer. I actually feel the trailer is actually not good, having seen the show. I'm like, that was a good trailer, but now that I've seen the show, you significantly undersold it. I'm not going to make that mistake, as you can see from my review. Now, I am a huge fan of Greek mythology. I loves it. Which paved the way for many of us, I think, to get into comic books, a different type of mythology. So I particularly enjoyed this show. So if you like that same kind of storytelling, if you like Greek mythology, comic books, stuff that has mythology to it in general, animation, you're really going to like this. Also, speaking of animation, to me this is right up there with Gargoyles, The Last Airbender, and the recent adult animated show, Harley Quinn. Love that show. Plus, Game of Thrones, don't underestimate that comparison, because they're very, very similar as well in that regard. I mean, you really can see this as that being kind of like the pitch here. Because this show, and because it's animated, it doesn't have to hold back budget-wise. I mean, it's rich with story, but to me, what I really, really loved about it is that it's really rich, even richer with visuals and action and world building. It was so cool. Everyone delivers, from the writers to the voice cast to the animators. I can't recommend it highly enough, quite frankly. So that's my review of Blood of Zeus. Stay tuned over the next coming days for some surprises. And this show starts streaming on Netflix on a Tuesday for some reason, October 27th. Share your thoughts down below. Again, my apologies, Castlevania fans. So share your thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.